second half. How important is that first drive to kind of set the tone of what you like to do offensively when you get that opportunity?
We talk about starting fast, and you know, we've done that in nearly every game. I would say the Bills game was the exception, and that's a point of emphasis for us. And I think it reflects well on our coaching staff when they sit down and plan out the first several plays of the game and how the flow of the game should go early, and then to come out the gates with success as we did today and as we've done in a few other weeks. It says a lot about our coaching staff and their ability to prepare well for what we're going to face right away.
Glad for the bye? Time off?
Yeah, just rest. You know, rest is really important. There will be a little bit of self-scout and trying to look back at the first 9 weeks and see what we can do better, what we can change. So there's some of that, but not at the expense of resting. I think that we go so hard really since the end of July, and I think the best way for me to finish strong in the second half of the season is to recharge during the bye week.
Please so far, Kirk. Please with this portion of the schedule, first 9 games.
Well, I think the short answer is yes. I mean, it's more complicated than that, certainly. But when you get back from the bye and you realize everything you want to accomplish this season is right there in front of you, you're still playing for it, and you have no reason to be discouraged or disappointed, then we just look forward. We don't need to look behind. Let's just look ahead at what we have ahead of us, because it's all right there for us if we can play well and win games. And hopefully we get some guys healthy after the bye, which strengthens our football team all the more. But you know, if you're asking big picture, I'm thrilled to be here and just feel very fortunate to be a part of this team, this group of guys, this coaching, work for this coaching staff, this organization. It's all very positive from my experience.
What will a healthy Dalvin Cook do for you in the second half of the season?
What can Dalvin Cook do in the second half of the season?
A healthy Dalvin Cook.
Well, you know, I think I've said this a few times. I joke that he's the white tiger. You know, like when you go to the zoo and you want to see the white tiger and they say he's not coming out today, and you're disappointed. You're like, that's why I bought the ticket, to see the white tiger. That's Dalvin. You know, when you get him, he's special. And I just have such a small sample size of having seen him, because I've only been here since April, and obviously he was recovering from his injury last year, and when he's been in, he's been special. So what can he do for us when healthy? I would think you know, he can do what he showed today and what he's shown in other opportunities he's got. But we got to get him out there, we got to keep him healthy, and then we got to give him opportunities.
Can you sense the running game helping what you're trying to do in terms of taking the edge off a little bit compared to the first 4 or 5 weeks?
Well, I do think that each game calls for different play calling, different approaches. When we got an early lead, you notice the defense is playing really well. You want to run clock. You're going to go to the run a little more. You also, when you feel like the run is working early, you're going to commit to it a little more in the latter part of the game. In some of our other games, if we don't feel like the run game is working, it's better to just drop back and throw, or give yourself other opportunities in the pass game than to just continue to run it when it's not working. And again, if your defense has given up a few points, or you have to play catch up, then it's harder to run. So the situations in the games do affect it a little bit. So every game is going to tell its own story. But today was a day of, let's let our defense win this game. Let's run the football. Let's try to convert third downs to stay on the field, and you know, and that's why I think the production was what it was.
Kirk, I know we only saw a small sample size of it today with Dalvin, I think 4 catches, but once he's finally back in that routine and that rhythm of being able to be active in the passing game, how much more explosive can the offense be with the screen game? Yeah,
I think you know, he's dynamic with the football in his hands, whether it's through a handoff, whether it's through a short pass, a long pass. You know, he caught a slant against the Packers, so we're going to try to find ways to get the football. And it could be a toss, it could be a handoff, it could be a draw, it could be a screen. And then even third downs, you know, when he's out there on third down, I think you could go back and watch the All-22, watch the tape, and see that he's probably a potential target there to move the chains and get us a first down on third down as well. So that's something also we can go back and look at.
Coach Zimmer mentioned that Chad Beebe was trying to get him active for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, you're with him in practice and seeing him on scout team every single day. What signified to you? Was there a moment that you knew this kid can do this on a big time level?
I remember at the end of training camp, you know, because you're looking at your 90 players there and you're trying to get a feel for where everyone is, and you said to yourself, this guy's going to play in the NFL. He's going to have success. It may not happen week 1. It may not be right away, but he's he's on his way. He's going to do good things in this league. And I told him that, near the end of training camp, you just got to stay patient and just keep working. And then I think you saw on the scout team week to week just the ability to get open, some confidence was building, and I just felt like he was putting things out there on tape in practice that made our coaching staff and us teammates say, boy, I can't wait to see what he can do on Sunday with what he's doing on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And, it came to fruition today. What he did on 3rd and 4th down for us was really important, created separation and tight man coverage, and I think he's a great asset for us as we look to the second half of the season.
Kirk did
so effective at creating separation?
Well, it's a lot of it. Adam does the similar things, and Diggsy as well. It's being quick twitch. It's understanding technique, understanding when to push your route up 2 more yards to sell a different cut before you make your cut, and not being short on your routes. It's also knowing when to break it off and put your foot in the ground, as opposed to allowing him the defensive back to recover. So there's a savvy there, but there's also a wiring in terms of your athleticism. Are you quick twitch? Do you have the feet, the hips to be able to create that separation?
For a young guy to have that kind of sixth sense of what you need to do on your routes, how often do you see that with a guy that doesn't have much experience in the NFL?
Well, you really don't see it early with most players, and I would argue that, and no disrespect to Chad, but in OTAs, I don't know that you did see it every play. You saw the wiring to be athletic and to separate, but I think it takes time to build the confidence, to build the familiarity with how we coach the routes and how we want them run. And I do think that it took him some time to really dial in and learn it, and then when you start to feel like you have an understanding of it, now the natural athleticism can come out. And I think that's also where you get excited about young players, is the more they're out there, the more they're going to build that confidence and that familiarity with the scheme, and now their talents can rise to the surface, and I think we'll be seeing that with Chad as we go forward.
Is it fair to say that he provides the receiving corps with a different look? I mean, you have possession types, deep threats,
Sure.
but what does he provide?
Well, he certainly is someone, when you get man coverage, you need people who can separate from man. And I think we had confidence that he could do that today, to the point where we went to him twice in crucial situations against man coverage. He did create separation, got us the first down. And then we noticed in the second half on the deep ball to Aldrich, they doubled him. They doubled him and Adam. So there was a recognition at halftime, I believe, from their side that, hey, we're not going to let this guy continue to beat us in man coverage. We're going to double him as well. So now the ball's got to go somewhere else, and I think that's where you saw why we threw a deep ball to Aldrich, or why we tried to go to Laquan or some other people. And even a couple times I tried to fit it into Adam against double coverage, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. So, you just try to assess how the defense is playing you and get the ball to the open guy.
Did it look like Adam was getting doubled more with Diggs out? Was that obvious?
Yeah, we felt like that would be the plan. That would make sense to us, and they did that. And, and so that's where, again, you love having players and athletes, because at some point they can't double everyone, and you got to go where they haven't doubled. That was Kyle Rudolph on the 3rd down conversion that he had. That was a big one for us to get us close to midfield when we were a little bit backed up. He was single coverage, and the safety was cheated over top of Adam, and that gave us an opportunity to work Kyle. So we got to continue to find who's not doubled and get them the football.
Kirk, when it comes to the defense,